Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald with Second Swing Golf here at Second Swing at Minnetonka in the tour van with Jake Montgomery, master club fitter at Second Swing. Today we're talking about Fujikura Ventus shafts. I think Jake, goes without saying, Fujikura Ventus shafts have been pretty popular the last several years. They've added in the last 12 months or so, they've added to their family with the Velcore Plus technology and the family. But we wanted to kind of just review the whole thing.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
it can maybe get lost in the weeds a little bit for the average golfer, what these three families are, how they're different. And then it's even too, the original Ventus versus say Ventus Velocore Plus. They look similar, but there are some slight differences. So
100%.
I wanted to go through the families, but first of all, just give me the kind of track record that they've had in the fitting bay for you.
Yes, I mean, as far as a premium shaft goes, they are far and away my most sold. What they really excel in is dispersion, ball speed, and spin rate. They honestly make the driver a little bit more forgiving just by putting the shaft in there. So they're going to have, at least they used to, have three different colors, red, blue, and black. And those just kind of correspond to the launch and spin characteristics of each shaft. Red being the highest, blue being in the middle, and black being the lowest.
Okay.
I would not consider any of these to be high spin shafts. If you're looking to add a significant amount of spin, you might want to look away from the Ventus family, except for maybe the Ventus White, which was just added. But they are typically pretty low spinning.
Okay.
But they are very, very good on miss hits. I cannot tell you how many times that I've missed my ball out in the toe, and I still found the fairway using my Ventus TR Red.
Okay.
I absolutely love that thing. I don't know if I'll ever switch out of that shaft until I lose the speed. But no, I'm a huge fan of these Ventus shafts. They've helped a lot of golfers.
Yep.
You'd be amazed how much of a difference just a shaft can make.
Yeah, and I know they began, the original Ventus family, which we'll start with kind of here, was I believe in 2018 or 2019 is when it became really popular. They've also expanded that to include now there's drivers, there's fairway woods, and there's hybrids.
Yep.
But with the original Ventus family and the original Velocore technology, that's in the Ventus family. So the Velocore technology is a proprietary multi-material bias core construction. That's a lot of big words there.
Yep.
But it basically adds stability, as you mentioned, it adds forgiveness, and it resists the twist in there. So it's kind of it's a unique material only Fujikura has in the Ventus family. So what else can you tell us about the original Ventus series?
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of really the kickoff point for what I think is probably the biggest brand in shafts.
Yeah.
They just offer so many different profiles, especially now. But back then, there was the red, the blue, and the black. And it all just kind of comes down to tip, mid, and then butt stiffness. Yeah. That all just kind of affect the way that the shaft is going to kick, perform, launch, and spin. I would say most players in this family, I'm fitting into the blue or the black. Okay. The red, unless you're swinging a little slower, can be a little soft even in the extra stiff version, where if a player really needs spin, I maybe go to this if we're sticking in Ventus. But for the most part in the original family, I'm probably fit more in the blue or the black. Right.
And so to clarify again, that's the red is sort of the highest launching, highest spinning of them, although you say it's relatively low launching
for
the entire spectrum of shafts out there. Blue is sort of the mid, and then black is the firmest and the lowest launching throughout all of the Ventus families. So now I wanted to get into the TR series here. So this is Ventus TR. Tell us what TR is, what they added with this new element to the whole Ventus lineup.
Yeah, so the TR has a speed toe carbon kind of in this section right here. You can see it even in the shaft graphics.
Sure.
Basically, it has the handle and more the midsection of the black. So it has a very stiff and stable feel while having a tip and kind of lower midsection of whatever color the shaft is.
Okay.
So I don't launch the ball very high. So I play the TR red. I want something really stable in the handle, but I want a shaft that can have a lot of kick and get the ball up in the air for me.
Got it.
They have this in the red, the blue, and the black. The black is rebar. That thing is extremely stiff.
Yeah.
For players like Johnny Brodzinski, where they're swinging at 130, that can be a pretty good shaft for them. So this is going to be, I would say, more higher club head speed players. If we're going X, it's more likely that we're going TR, just because it is so stable in the handle.
Okay.
It provides a lot of really good feel for them.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good.
So it's both a feel thing and a performance thing
100%.
for this as well, where players looking for just a little bit more stability. Whether it is a feel thing, whether you're as a player you're feeling it's just a little bit loosey goosey, the TR can help with that, but also still giving performance you're looking for.
Yeah.
So now then, this is in the last 12 months. The Velocore Plus family, they added this. I think they started with the red, blue, and black in the summer of 2024, and then we'll talk about the new edition in 2025. But The Velcore Plus family, we talk about the technology there. There's actually a new material that they added. So this is basically the re-engineered this multi-material bias core with a new premium material. But the idea here is just a little bit more yet of dispersion kind of maintenance, essentially, throughout the entire lineup.
Yeah, so it just a hair more forgiving. It helps even more with kind of offline shots. What I really found with this is it flatline spin rates.
Okay.
Heel shots and toe shots stay a lot more consistent. The main difference, like let's say you're swinging the 7X black in both. What you're going to feel is that this one is a little bit softer, but it spins lower. So depending on the player and kind of what needs they have, whether they want a little bit higher spin, want a little bit lower spin, prefer a softer feel, firmer feel, we can kind of interchange the two. But I would say that this one has flatline spin and it's a little bit lower, and it feels a little softer than the old version of the black, the blue, the red.
Okay, so in your estimation too, the newest Ventus Velocore Plus, the bigger difference is probably on feel versus, say, the original Ventus.
100%. I mean, we're talking maybe 5-10% of a difference in the numbers.
Yeah.
Where we're really seeing a difference is the feel.
Okay.
Especially a player that's looking for a lot of stability. We need low launch. We need low spin. But they don't want it to feel like a board.
Right.
The Ventus Black Plus has been really good.
Okay, and then we got to we got to discuss this. So I know you're really excited about this. Off camera, you said some really good things about this. So the Velocore Plus series includes a new color. So there's been red, blue, and black ever since, for the last 6-7 years. Adding a white here in 2025. Tell us about the white shaft.
Yeah, so the white all comes in around a 40-gram build. I would say the shaft that I have sold the most of it in is actually the stiff flex. The reason for that is players swinging around 85 to 95 miles an hour, we're able to drop the weight a lot. So it allows them to swing the club a little bit faster, launch the ball a little bit higher. But the Velcore Plus technology and it being in that stiff flex, it's very, very stable. I had a guy yesterday where we were trying a few different options out. We were trying, I believe, the Graphic Design DI in a 60-gram stiff. We gained 15 yards of carry just by switching into the Ventus White because he picked up 3 miles an hour club head speed because the shaft's a little bit lighter. He launched it higher and the spin rate was lower. So all three of those are just a combination for hitting it much further.
Wow, that's impressive. And this is something where I think there's so much attention given to the club head, where something like a shaft, like in this particular scenario, you just switch the shaft out 15 more yards. And a lot of that is due to the club speed and the way he's swinging it. So lastly, wanted to just ask you from a fitting perspective, we just covered the white and how, the player that's going to fit in this most likely is going to be someone that maybe isn't swinging the fastest. 100%. You kind of gave a club speed range there. But when it comes to the red, blue, black, is it not necessarily based on swing speed, but rather the kind of launch characteristics?
It's all launch conditions.
Okay.
So the way that I determine a profile for someone obviously feels extremely important. If I hand someone a shaft and they immediately say they don't like it, I don't care what it is, I'm taking it out of their hand.
Okay.
But I am always going based on launch and spin numbers to kind of determine what shaft we're going to need. We have ideal ranges for each club head speed. If you're swinging slower, you're going to want to launch it higher with a little bit more spin. If you're swinging it really fast, you want to launch it lower with a little bit lower spin because ball speed gets the ball up in the air. So we're chasing peak height, most importantly land angle. Pretty much across the board, I'm trying to get around a 35-degree land angle out of a driver. So I'm just trying to grab a shaft that's going to help kind of match up to that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, but that's kind of the overview here. We wanted to, but we get some questions on the YouTube channel a lot, or you get the questions as a fitter, obviously, all the time about, A, why would someone make the upgrade to the Fujikura Ventus shaft? And then B, what are the differences between them with the new families, the colors, et cetera. So hopefully this answers some questions. But and lastly, golfers schedule a fitting. If you're curious about any of these or want to test them out, test something new, maybe you have a new driver you've been eyeing, but this is maybe maybe the shaft I'm not sure about. This is a great reason to do so. So schedule that fitting it with someone like Jake. We'll dial you in for new clubs, whether it's a driver, fairway wood, or hybrid, and a Fujikura Ventus shaft. Yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.